Hi, I'm Drew Klaber with Mitutoyo America Corporation. I'm here with Mike Grossenbach, and on today's tool tip, we're going to cover the 4 most common questions with the KA counter. So Mike, I just turned on the KA counter and I have some flashing lights on the X and Y axis. So without getting the manual out, where do I go from here?
Good question. The easiest way of doing that would be to just hit the C button.
Okay. Is there a way so that every time I turn the unit off and back on, I don't have to press the C button every time?
Sure. You can go into the parameter setup by turning off the unit with the switch in back. Hold down the Enter key while turning on the switch.
Also, this is how I get into the setup mode to change any of the parameters. Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be flashing pair at the top for parameter setup. And then you can toggle through to startup. The setting right now is new, but if you were to change that by hitting Enter and then X for this X axis, toggle it up to auto and hit Enter. You hit C to back out of the parameter setup mode. And now every time you turn on the unit, it will be the number, but it won't be flashing.
All right, I'm going to test you, so I'm going to turn the unit off.
Okay.
I'm going to flip the unit back on. There you have it.
And we're ready to go.
Cool, so I noticed that when I first turned the unit on, I'm currently set to metric, so I'm guessing that's what it was last set up for. If I want to change the units, I press the unit button. It's not changing to inch. What am I doing wrong?
Nothing really, you just have to hold it down a little longer. So if you hold it down for over 3 seconds, you'll see that the millimeter LEDs will disappear, and now you have an extra digit, so that lets you know that it's in inches now.
You know, I could actually see where this is a good feature because it keeps somebody from accidentally tapping it if they're in the middle of something and switching things unintentionally.
Right. Yep.
Okay, gotcha. So Mike, one other thing I notice here is that out of the box we're reading in 5/10, but what if my application I need to read in 1/10? How would I change that?
Sure, okay. The easiest way is to get back into the parameter setup. So
turn the unit off,
turn it
hold
off,
Enter, turn the unit back on, using the back power switch, not the front power switch.
Exactly. And then toggle this through until you see digit display. So right now you'll see that it's in 0 or 5 because that's the resolution. And that digit that's displayed, it's only measuring as a 0 or 5, so 5/10 resolution. So the easiest way to change that is hit Enter. Whichever axis you want to change, hit that axis. So we'll change the X axis.
Also, each axis can be independent of its own reading.
Yeah. So you could have the X axis 1/10, the Y axis 5/10 or thousandths even, whatever you want to change it to. And then from here, you hit the plus button until it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, indicating that it's reading in single increments, and then hit Enter. And then once that's done, you hit the C button, it'll restart itself, and then you'll notice that the display is in 1/10,000th resolution.
So lastly, Mike, I know this box can be used on profile projectors, it can be used on mills, it can be used on lathes. If I'm using this on a lathe, is there a way that I can take the number that's coming from my scale and double it so that as I'm cutting my diameter, it will help me to read a true diameter measurement?
Yes, we can do that by going back into the parameter setup mode and changing one setting. So we'll turn it off, hold down Enter and switch it on. And then hit the plus button until you see a setting that says display mode, DSP mode for display mode. And you'll see right now it says RAD for radius, but we want to change that to diameter. So we'll hit Enter, so we want to change that. And whichever one you want to change. So say in the X axis, we'll change that one. It'll start flashing. You hit plus, so it says DIA for diameter, and just save that. And then once you're done, hit the C button. It'll restart itself automatically. And now you'll also see in the upper left-hand side of the display here, it says DIA for diameter. So you know that it's reading on the display double what the actual movement of the linear scale is.
Well, Mike, thank you for that information. I think we got 4 tool tips in 1 out of that, so I appreciate that. I think that's going to help a lot of folks with their frequently asked questions. If you have any suggestions for future tool tips, please leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions for us, please give us a call at 888-MITUTOYO or visit us online at www.mitutoyo.com.